My dear friends, very good morning. This is Commander Sudhir Kumar from my YouTube channel Pulse Beat of India. Dear friends, today I am going to discuss, rather, going to carry out a threadbare analysis on our Honorable Prime Minister's recent visit to USA. What are the outcomes and what are the important features of this visit? You all know that in many ways this visit had been unprecedented. The first of all, bipartisan invitation from Democrats as well as Republicans to our Honorable Prime Minister to address joint session of US Congress is only the fourth time when joint session of US Congress has been addressed twice by any leader of any country, and the Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji is the fourth world leader to address the joint session of US Congress. Certainly it was an honor to 140 crores Indians and India as well. It has taken the Indian reputation to the next level. The kind of a rousing reception during this joint session address has been that near about 76 times a very round of applause by all the senators inside US Congress and 19 times an standing ovation to our honorable prime minister itself is a very creditable honor to any leader. Everyone knows that Narendra Modi ji is for consecutive time, or you can say from last 4 years, has been rated as most popular leader in the world by approved rating. It was anticipated that the US and Indo relations are going to be taken to the new heights during this visit. There were a lot of anticipations, and the kind of a reception which was given at White House by President Biden and Mrs. Biden, it was unprecedented. And unprecedented, I would like to pinpoint a very important feature of this visit, that near about 10 to 15,000 American Indians from all parts of America, from all states of America, and from those are hailing from all states and union territories of India gather over there. And in spite of rains, they were keen to have a darshan of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. It was indeed historic. 21 gun salute which was given, the kind of reception which was extended, and the speech by President Biden itself, it goes a long way. The status of India, which is now touching new heights in global geopolitics and globally, and all leaders are respecting Narendra Modi not only as a pragmatic leader, but a leader who can take a position of a world leader and steer out this emerging world order out of chaos, uncertainty, and uh, taking it to the peace where the world is solving problems for climate change and fight against terrorism. The second important point is that Mr. Rahul Gandhi, who visited USA before the visit of Prime Minister Modi, he had taken help from many Muslim organizations over there, and he was speaking against India, Indian constitution, and certainly to a very great extent against Modi ji. But you will see here all these Muslim organizations and many other organizations and the Soros gang, they wanted to oppose visit of Modi when he was visiting White House by carrying out a great amount of demonstration. And I really appreciate that the US administration, I think the message was sent to all these gangs not to be there nearby White House, and it was unprecedented that they did not create any sort of an demonstration over there, except near about 20, 30, or 40 or 50 people were there to oppose Modi ji's visit. Again, the most important issue was that when the issues were taken by certain senators and certain organizations in USA that Narendra Modi must not be given state honor in White House, he must not be invited for the dinner. You see the President Joe Biden, the way he defended the democracy of India, the way he has spoken, very highest regards for the Indian democracy, and certainly our Prime Minister, he defended against a question that, the democracy is in our blood, and no one is going to teach India that what democratic values are there. Most unfortunate interview which came in side by side, it was Barack Obama. Obama had been in appreciation of India. He had a great friendship with Narendra Modi, but I do not understand in what sort of a gang or what sort of an people he was going to appease, and what sort of an interest he had in mind giving this interview on the same day when the USA was giving a reception to Narendra Modi ji. I think Mr. Barack Obama is highly, confused, and the way he has spoken about democracy, the way he has spoken about that, about the Muslim fraternity in India, I think his comments are very disappointing because he knows through and through about India, what sort of an India is, and how every caste, creed, religion, everyone has been treated in India equally. All inclusive development schemes have gone equally to all people in India without making any difference between race, religion, state, age, individuality, caste, creed. All these does not matter in India, and maybe that Barack Obama must know about it. The maximum fraternity are the Muslims in India. Those have been benefited by these social benefit schemes. Those have been launched by the government of India under the pragmatic leadership of Narendra Modi ji in last 9 years. So with this, my dear friends, one most important was the unprecedented welcome was given during this state visit of Narendra Modi ji, and Narendra Modi ji was the only third leader in independent India as a Prime Minister of India who had been invited for a state visit to USA, and he was the only fourth leader globally to address the joint session of US Congress. So it is indeed an unprecedented honor. But the most important is the way during the near about 3 nights and 4 days function, those were held. Modi ji held meeting with the, both sides of senators, the top scientists, the Indian CEOs of Indian CEOs of USA technology companies, and other US CEOs of other US companies, and different social groups, and these all during these all interaction, and even when he met with the people in a private function at Kennedy Center, again during interaction, it was a message which India has conveyed that the USA and India is not only the natural allies, it's not only the two largest democracies, but it is the mutual interest, mutual respect, and it is the mutual benefit that the India and USA are having a very strong strategic partnership, whether it is in there in the field of defense production in India, or moving away the supply chain out of China and bringing into India, or doing collaborations on science and technology front, having technology transfer to India, and then the co-production, joint production in India, and then in India for the world, and Indian help to establish certain industries in USA, and both the sides it is that helping the people of India and USA at the last mile. This is the larger message. Everyone knows the Indian diaspora, Indian fraternity in USA is the highest per capita income earning diaspora in USA. It is highest among all the nationalities. And with that, Indians forgetting, not forgetting Indian roots, but still the American interest for American Indians are the foremost in their mind. And now they have got a lot of confidence that their own country, India, is coming up. They are doing huge amount of remittance, which is building infrastructure in India. That's a very close cooperation. And again, there are many Indian companies, those are investing heavily in the MSME sector in USA and taking care of the poor in USA. And it is the two-way traffic which is taking place. The Indian trade, the trade between American is on the mutual trust. It's a quality, and the highest order of practices are established during trade, and we have touched near about 190 billion US dollars. And as our honorable Prime Minister and the honorable President Joe Biden had decided that this trade should touch near about 500 billion US dollars by in next 3 to 4 years. I'm sure it's going to be in reality. Now I'm going to touch upon the another very important aspect between US and Indo relationship during this visit. That G engine for Tejas, which is going to be manufactured in India, and that is also a well-known fact that the GE has supplied engines for the ships and even the strategic ships in India. And it's a great decision that the co-production, or rather the Make in India, under Make in India, HAL is going to produce these engines for the Tejas and the next generation version of Tejas. It's a very big news. The same way the Micron, the Google, uh, Amazon, and other semiconductor industry is going to invest in India, and by bringing this relationship between the people of two countries, two more. The US consulate are going to open at Ahmedabad and Bangalore, the same way India is going to open at Seattle, and at two more places, which is going to be, chosen, shortlisted shortly. So it is amazing. In We are going to have this relationship going on in different. And my dear friend, now I am giving my recommendations, and it is a very important time that the US and India have to come more closer, though we are there in Quad, in order to, stop the Chinese ambitions in South China Sea or Indian Ocean, and the way the China is threatening Taiwan in that region. That's where the India is the only country with the support of USA and other like-minded nations which can stop the US expansionist drive and the motives in that region. And this is also known that the India and China is having tension at border. That India, with the aggressive deployment of defense weapons, the modern defense weapons, and having the modern aeroplanes and helicopters inducted in Indian forces, is a viable not only a position, but India is the only country which has got land boundary with China, and India can stop China doing that, you know, that sort of a threatening attitude in this South China Sea or with the neighbors. So this is that strategic relationship between US and India is very very crucial. Now again, the most important fact is that nowhere the war which is going on between Ukraine and Russia was a question in this relationship. And though the Honorable Prime Minister made a very categorical statement, and which is for restoring peace in the world, he said this is not the time for war, and all issues must be settled at negotiation table. It was praiseworthy, and it made that the pragmatic foreign policy which has been pursued by our Honorable Prime Minister, supported by Jaishankarji, it is indeed a very clear message to the entire world that what India is going to pursue. It is also known now to all the countries that Narendra Modi ji or Indian foreign policy is India focus. Indian interests are going to be kept uppermost in their mind, and in any kind of a bilateral, multilateral relationship. But again, this India focused approach is also based on mutual respect, mutual interest, and mutual respect, mutual benefits, mutual interest, and mutual respect. So, with that aim, even during this recent visit, nowhere the relationship of India and Russia and the way India is importing the crude oil, the oil from Russia at a very huge scale, that has also not been questioned. People today, they are echoing, they are interested to know that how India has been turned around in last 9 years, how India has been brought from fragile five economies in 2014 now to the fifth largest economy in 2023 itself, within just less than a decade. And it is also known that all the world agencies are telling, like IMF and many other agencies, that India is going to be third largest economy by the end of 2027 or 2028. So it's an amazing story, and India is now a investment destinations because we have established a very very sort of an facilities where ease of doing business has been made easy, and that's where the many industries are coming up into India. And shortly India is going to be a manufacturing hub, a manufacturing global hub. As far as automobile industry is concerned, the Prime Minister has met Elon Musk, and in EV, I am sure that Elon Musk is going to enter into India. But only thing is that India will not support the car manufacturing in China and buying in India. He has to manufacture all EVs, Tesla EVs in India, and I'm sure in India, manufacturing will be sold in India and for the entire world. That's where today, with a pragmatic geopolitics point of view, the India and USA relationship has come out a long way in last 25 years, and especially in last 9 to 10 years. And the way the confidence between Narendra Modi ji and Joe Biden, and even the interaction between India and US people is amazing. This chemistry is amazing, and I am sure the kind of an collaboration those have been signed during this visit are going to take India and US relationship to the next highest level. Even the antiques, the 1,000 years old, maybe 1,000 years, 5,000, 10,000 years old antiques, the rare, precious, the murtis, the statues, and other things, those were stolen from India, smuggled into USA, and sold in private markets. Those making part of museum and the private collections. The hundred of them, the US president has agreed to return them to India. I think it's a great going as far as that the soft power side and the cultural exchange values are concerned between those two countries. Now, my dear friend, I have talked about everything in length, but you see, when Narendra Modi ji performed yoga at UN Center, it was amazing that more than 170 countries, representatives, and other civil organizations attended this yoga, and it was a message that yoga is for the entire world. Though it is a gift from India to the world, it is a gift of our marishes and sages that after 1,000 years of the worship practices, that this finest art of yoga for the well-being and for the health of all the humans on this earth is without any patent, without any, giving any royalties, and it is independent to time and places. Every person could be benefited. So this is a sort of an soft power. India is amazing soft power, and for the well-being of entire humanity on this earth is a great message, and it has been well taken by all countries. And this effort of Narendra Modi ji is being appreciated, though he is the only one behind getting Yoga Day declared on 21st June, and even getting the Millets Year 2003, and the establishing ISA, International Solar Alliance, and in which it was a surprise when our Honorable Prime Minister informed the world and the US senators that India is the only country those have done whatever was pledged and agreed in Paris Declaration against climate change, that we have established our share of commitment by 2022 itself by establishing 66 gigawatt of renewable energy, which we were supposed to get by 2030. So India did 8 years in advance. It's an amazing story, and everyone was surprised. Everyone is equally surprised to know the Indian stories, success stories, that how India fought against COVID so successfully, and that the vaccine was uh, discovered, researched, and produced in such a short time. And how 220 crores people, 2.2 billion people were vaccines were given to India, and how the Indian people's health was restored. And amazing is that how the food has been given to near about 800 million people from near about 3 years, and how India during pandemic time is able to take near about 280 million people out of extreme poverty and poor category, and they have been taken to the lower middle class category. And it's an amazing story, and it is continued. I know there are many areas where the improvement needs to be done. There are many areas between USA and India also, those still remains untouched. But the way the going ahead has been established during this visit, it is unprecedented in many ways. The history has come a long way. The Indian and US relationship has come a long way. And even in the nuclear field, I am sure, I think Westinghouse is also under discussions that they are going to produce, they are going to construct some nuclear reactors in India is also on the anvil. The same way, like the way unarmed drones, Predator or other from General Atomics, those are under consideration, those are going to be produced. I'm sure this is the way forward, that maximum technological support between India and USA has to take place, and in many areas, such as the future technologies such as quantum, artificial intelligence, quantum computing, machine learning, nanotechnology, the minerals development, those are essential for the, for the semiconductor industry in India. I'm sure the way the USA semiconductor industry is going to open up the production facilities in India and the training, near about 15,000 Indians in Bangalore, and establishing their research facilities in India is certainly a very, very positive sort of a foundation to embark upon a great relationship in future. Once again, the India and USA coming closer by each day is the need of the day, and we know that America has gone under a considerable amount of debt. They have to support their economy, and India is now a bright spot. India is the fast growing economy in the world. India provides a lot of opportunities, and it is, I'm sure, it is not only that the exchange program between India is based on two-way or the matter of convenience. I think it is a matter of a relationship, a great relationship going forward, and realizing that what are each other's shortcomings, so that each country could stand against the shortcomings of the other country and support each other with the true intention. And I'm sure these viabilities have emerged as never before during this visit. And with these words, I wish the President Narendra Modi and our Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji and President Joe Biden, that both of them, they come out winners in forthcoming election in respective countries in 2024, and take this relationship to the greater heights. With that, all the best. If you like this threadbare analysis on US Indo relationship that emerged during Narendra Modi ji visit to USA from 21st June to 24th, please like this video and subscribe to my YouTube channel Pulse Beat of India. Till I next call you, Jai Hind.